Welcome back everyone, welcome back to the stream. So for all of you that are just joining, welcome. We've been building a RESTful UI generating service in Fast API, and also we've started playing around with the NextJS front end and testing out the Stainless API, which is a way to generate type-safe clients specifically for your OpenAI specification. So we've got a TypeScript API backend that we've been playing around with this feedback flow, and this is the same UI that Stripe uses, OpenAI and Anthropic use, and you can basically generate these from your OpenAI spec. So we've been playing around with that and having some fun. Next up on the list of things to do is I'm going to be focusing on building a standard schema and an article component and making sure we can hydrate some of these SHADC and UI components. So that's currently what we're going to do. We're going to focus on articles to start with, rather than just trying to generate any UI. Let's focus on getting articles working and flowing through the system. So the first thing we're going to do is, I don't have any containers running, so we're going to run Supabase start, and then I'm also going to load another terminal. We'll have to wait for those to spin up. After those containers go live, then we are gonna, I'm just checking Docker's running fine. Alright, cool. We're just doing health checks. Right, sweet, so we're up and running. We're gonna then up our compose, and we're also gonna now cd into the client and then run our front end, and we are now going to get everything up here. So next thing that we need to do is, let's work on these tasks and get linear up. We need a standardized output and input schema for articles, and I think we should probably make it so that if someone's uploading an article, they don't even have to do that. So first things first, I'm going to add in the migrations folder from SQL, and that will give Claude 3.5 Sonnet all the ability to know what we need to do. Now, let's also give it the next app. We'll give it the client app. And also, we want to give it our API app now, I think. And we'll say we need to generate a, we have built a flexible system that can handle different input/outputs for JSON schema, and we can dynamically render the React code, which is hydrated on the client side via a string and function constructor. However, we want to hard code a use case for articles. Given our current code base, can you also add this in as seed data and also help with the following tasks? Right, let's give that a go and see how we get on. For the React quill, we're also going to need a place to go and get the article data. So, we definitely need to install this with the React quill, which is good. But we are going to need to specifically solve this input and output schema problem. get rid of this. So we'll have I want to be able to save and read data for each article. Input schema, output schema, function article renderer. Where are we going to store? So there's a couple of questions here. Where are we going to store the quill edit changes that anyone makes? Where will we store comments for articles? And we should say I already have a dynamic function constructor component. This is the problem with, I found, putting everything in. You almost have to feed it back in all the things that you actually have already. Here is the feedback UI component. Can you regenerate my seed data? Let's also give it the seed data, which is this. Also help with answering those questions. And for anyone who's joining us, we're just making a feedback UI, a REST API that we can generate unique different types of UI components so that we can store different types of information. Right, so we're going to create a new table called article comments. Now, I don't want to call it these necessarily because I kind of want comments to be more flexible than just being locked into a specific comment. So I'm going to push back on Claude at this point. I want the comment system to be a bit more flexible because later we might want to comment on canvases, or we might want to comment on custom UI components that are also rendered. Cool, so let's hey Rosal AI in there, Rose AI in there. We're making a feedback generator which will basically generate a UI. So the idea behind this is you can generate a feedback session, and a feedback session will you can populate those with feedback items, and each feedback item can have a input and an output schema. The input schema will determine what you specifically are showing in terms of the feedback. Like, so maybe you have a video that someone wants to view, then that would be the input schema. So you have this data that you want someone to provide some feedback on, and then you have an output schema, and the output schema is basically what types of feedback do you want. Do you want a couple of checkboxes? Do you want some text areas? Do you want like a scale from 1 to 5? And then all of that is going to be generated in Fast API as React code dynamically. So then someone can get a feedback session URL. So their feedback session URL might be something like this: feedback, and then you have a session URL. And then the idea behind that is that then that is going to be what is populating this this code that is generated and stored in the database. So at runtime, we're going to get a bit of code from here, and then we have the content render components. That's like what they're getting feedback on, and the user form component. That's what they're actually giving us feedback in the form of, and that user form component corresponds to the output schema. So if you want to get back satisfaction rating and a feedback rating, and the satisfaction is between 1 to 5, then the user form component then has a form which then provides that satisfaction rating of 1 to 5, right? So you can get any type of feedback you want from defining an output schema, and the input schema just basically corresponds to what is the data that you're basically wanting some feedback on, right? So in this case, the data is, let me go find it. Let's have a look. So content render. So the input schema is that the data that they're giving us is this feedback content to review. So they've given us some information about like a product name and a launch date, and then we want to give like some feedback on this data structure. So yeah, that's the plan. We've come and made it like pretty flexible and generic, but we're also going to be locking it down and focusing on articles. So that is the plan. But we've left it so we can basically generate these feedback sessions with multiple bits of feedback. And then the aim is then those bits of feedback will then be edited on, and then the session will update in some sort of status. So it'll go from draft to active, paused, completed, archived, cancelled, and failed. So the difficult bit was trying to figure out how to generate the React code and then figure out how to do custom rendering from the database. And I think we're pretty close to that, where we have this UI feedback component that basically takes in these feedback items, and the content render component is a string and the user form component is a string. And then all of this does is it tracks the index, it loads the feedback data, sorts the items based on their order index, which is this bit here in the items. And then we handle this next. And when it's the last item, we're basically saying, run the on submit. And then you've got these custom renderers that are happening here, which are these dynamic components, which are handled on the client side. And those basically get fitted in here. So you've got a custom content renderer and a custom user form. And you've got a couple of buttons to handle, like, do they want to go backwards or forwards? So that's currently how it's set up. But we are, in my opinion, we're just going to focus on articles. So I'm going to generate a custom one of these and store it as seed data. And then we're just going to only focus on articles with comments. But we've left the rest of the system open enough that if we wanted to, we could generate any kind of UI component for an input and output schema and JSON schema. So we're sort of having a flexible system, but still focusing on one use case, which is how do we get feedback and article approval and the content-based workflow for articles and comments, and speeding that up with Gen AI as the first kind of major use case. So hopefully that explains it. I know that was kind of a lot to handle. But that is currently what we are going for. So let me just go back to this. So let me see. So we're making a new migration here to add comments. Yeah, cool. That's all right. Well, hopefully it will come to you in time. That's the plan, at least. I'm just trying to do a stream like every day or every other day and get some stuff done. So now we're just going to do a DB migration new. So we need migration new. We'll say adding in comments. And then let's go and add this table. So this is saying we're adding content ID. This should be actually, this shouldn't be a content ID, this should be a feedback item ID. We don't need a content type for now because we're just going to do articles. User ID. Parent comment ID. Let's leave user out of it so anyone can leave comments. And then we've got a this is almost like a what's the word? Content ID. Let's use this. Want a way to know where the comment should sit within a quill editor or canvas. Position index, I guess, is maybe we should have word position index, word start position index, word end position index. These are the positions of the word in the text. These are the coordinates of the comment in the HTML5 and HTML canvas. Yeah, I'm using Fast API for the back end. So Supabase, I'm using the Supabase local stack, which is really, really nice. So you can get a local Postgres database, you can get a auth, and you can also get an editor and that kind of stuff, and you've got database and auth, so it's really, really nice. And then I'm using NextJS for the front end, and then for the back end we're using Fast API, and we're using that alongside Supabase. So we're actually using a couple of different packages which allow us, so there's a really nice one called Supabase Pydantic that allows you to connect your Supabase local Docker containers and then generate the types in Pydantic models, which all come from into here, and then you can see these are all the custom models that the local database will generate. So if we have a look at the number of containers I'm running, it's actually quite insane. We're running our Fast API container, and then all this stuff here is the Supabase local stack. So we're pretty much just developing locally. There's not many API keys that we need to handle, and we can have a really nice flow on stream whilst also just keeping it super easy for me to develop and deploy to Postgres. So that is currently the stack. Cool, that looks good to me. Let's just reset this, and then anytime we're regenerating these, I want to do something. I want to generate some. So our seed data here is, we've got some profiles and teams. Yeah, it's quite a lot, to be honest, but it's it comes with experience. I've been coding for quite a while. Content comments, feedback item ID, parent comment ID. Okay. Right. Let's break this down. Let's really break this down. So I'll say currently I have generated the comments table, but now I want to, a couple of years, I've been coding for about 4 years, and I think after a couple of years you generally start to go, I roughly get the idea of what's happening. I think, you know, you can start with scripts, and start by learning Python or TypeScript. Just learn one language and get really good at that, and then move on to having a couple of languages that you're developing in. I really wouldn't recommend for beginners to learn 2 languages to develop in for a full stack. So try just using NextJS and using that, or like Svelte or something, you know, or like any of those types of progressive frameworks. But then when you feel a bit more comfortable, then learn Python, and then you can mix the back end and front end in different languages. So we need to, yeah, you're welcome, anytime. You're always happy to help. To generate a standard input/output schema for Quill, editing these articles. I want to store this in the feedback UI template so that anyone can access this. Also remake my article component and make it super dope. My job depends on it, because let's say honestly my job might well depend on it. Let's have a go. Cool. Alright, so we've got comments in now, which is good. So we've got another table. Content comments, which is good. Those are going to be attached to feedback items, which is kind of what we want. Nice. Content, type of string. That's where most of it's going to be in feedback UI templates. So update the SQL. Update with a valid team ID, make a team called everyone. You know, all. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. Article renderer. We'll go for custom feedback components, and then we'll put this one in here. Create a article component, article.tsx. So we need a multi-select, and also I've got a shell script that allows us to regenerate entities, which is quite nice. So for example, this article form data, text area, multi-select, date picker. Right. Multi-select and date picker. Let's get those from ChatGPT. Pop over and calendar components. Yeah, it needs to be in here. Date picker. Swear we did add the popover and the calendar though. UI, what's this? Popover. Components, UI, multi-select, we need a multi-select. How's it doing the multi-select here? Export function. Multi-select. command badge libs. That's fine. Command badge. We need command badge. Oh, thank you. Cursor is great. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's good. Okay. Those things should be fixed. That's fine because it's now UI multiselect.ts. Which is fine. That goes to, but let's just check the import. Yeah, let's change this. We need this to be and let's just check that. That is lib/utils, and it's a function, which means it should technically be like that. Let's just try importing it. So on this feedback page, it's like without it I wouldn't even know where to click. Yeah, I know. Cursor's great, yeah, I use it all the time. Highly recommend. So we're getting a error at the moment, but that is okay. So we need to go into this route. And for now, to the feedback items. If there's no feedback items, we need to handle for that scenario here. To return a really nice display of no feedback items, make it really dope. One thing you can do is just paste this in. Oh, we just need to import React. Handling for no feedback items. Happy face and add a really great UI for it being that they have likely completed all of the feedback. Right, and then I'm going to start storing a place where we should write tests. So tests for the front end. Put this in as a to-do. And then let's go in here. When there are no feedback items, we should render canvas confetti. Canvas tech confetti. It's so funny that Curse has done this. I think I need to add the types for this. Nice, we've got the types now. Check circle, smile. I don't want the motion rotating, I think. I like that, that's cool. Great job, you've completed all your feedback tasks. Maybe we can center this in the screen. Yeah, I'll also rewrite this. Definitely want to center that in the middle of the screen, that'd be fun. Yeah. Make the confetti better. Alright, so I'm streaming for an hour, so I'm going to have to stop in about 15 minutes or so. Yeah, look at that. Wonderful. Nice. So sweet. So I think the other thing we need to do is, if it's an admin user, we want the ability to go back to the main feedback page that will be like here, that will have all the feedback for all the clients. But for now, I don't think we need to do that. I think we can just I'll keep it like this for now and have that as a to-do. Let's try and get the article editor working. We'll put that in the backlog. Add a back button for the or add a back button for the admin on either feedback UI parent or yeah, we'll just do it on the parent, right? Because this parent is always going to render something. So if we have it where the feedback UI parent is also has a back button to the all feedbacks, then we can do that. So I think that's the simpler thing, and then we can just have like a back button here. But then if it renders feedback, it will also have a back button for that. But that is, so we'll rephrase that. Add back button for admins for feedback sessions. We need to have a grouped container alongside of this. Avoid coupling. Render strategy within the component. Yeah. Okay, so now if we have feedback items, what I want to do is I need to fetch the feedback. Alright, so content comments. I think that works. Let's just for now try and import an article editor. The initial data needs to be there. Getting this error, which we know is this one here in the multi-select. I think we take away the title, the author, the publish date. And we only have tags. Let's do that for now. Yeah. Title, author. I think we can still have that, but we don't want to show it to the person. So let's still keep it, but not show it. Because all we really care about is the feedback in the content, right? Like that's all we care about, and maybe the ability to add tags, but we probably want the admins to do that anyway. So if we just get rid of all of this stuff for now, I get rid of the title, get rid of the author, and then I think we need to change the use form. Oh, we're getting areas on the multi-select, but that's fine because we're going to get rid of a lot of that. I think let's get rid of this. Let's use cursor and say, I want you to edit this article component, remove all of the commented out code. We just want to use it for giving feedback / comments on the article. Make the editor experience look really great and full screen for mobile / desktop. My job depends on it. We'll give it the article and we'll also give it the comments. We need a comment. Also, I want you to integrate it with comments and a custom comments component. Here is the SQL. Let's give it the SQL, everybody. I love giving it the SQL. I think that's like the golden trick with cursor. Components. UI input. We have that button. We also have and card. I need to figure out, oh, card content, do we have that? Card and card content, yeah, we have all that stuff. Oh, okay, so we need to fix these on submits and fetching comments. Comments component. No, I want comments to be done like in Google Docs. I need you to generate the comments like Google Docs. Make them really slick, and you can add a comment only after selecting one character in Quill. Also make the editor have a maximum width. At the moment it looks a bit funky. Comments component. That is the most Yankee save article I've seen. What happens when we get to the end of this? We want scroll. Oh, we want to save as someone types. So just say, I want to save as someone types. And it looks like comments looks fairly broken. Comments currently looks broken. I have tried selecting multiple characters and it doesn't give the option to leave a comment. Need a debounce from low dash and I have done that already, but there we go. Alright, let's go people, let's go. Wait, properties of undefined reading ID. So I'm going to place in all these errors from the article and all these errors from the feedback ID. And have we got any in multi-select? Those don't look valid. There are. So you can always just paste your TypeScript errors straight into Cursor. And I know I sound lazy, I know I do, but let's be honest, we all do it. So add the types for Lodash. Done that. Change this line. Comments, components. RESTful. Types we've done, comments component. We need to add a forward ref. RESTful. Where's our React? We need a forward ref on the comments.ts. And then that goes in the controller, which happens where? Controller content. And is equal to content. I think we're going to get errors. Comments component. Right, let me close this down. We'll start again. We're close, we're close, we're close. Getting some errors. Oh, it's because I'm getting 500s. Which I guess we kind of expect because we've just pasted so much code. So I'm going to go off stream, I think, and fix my client and my article, because this stuff is going to need a bit of time. What is the error? We're getting an initial ID on the comments. Which is here. Feedback item ID. Oh, ID. What do we have here? Phone passed in. Initial data. Content and ID. yeah, initial data.id exists. Comments component. Yeah. Just trying to figure this bug out. So we've got the article component. Let's just say remake my comments component from scratch. We'll give it the article component. Oh, the heat of fixing bugs on stream. There you go. So I'm going to leave it like this for now. But I think what we need to do is, so I guess we do want the comments to like, we need some sort of pop-up and someone can hit like a keyboard shortcut and just immediately make a comment that pops up here. Let's also add a bit of padding, like, oh, we'll do that on a we'll say like helper feedback, parent feedback UI wrapper. Make a parent UI feedback UI wrapper that will wrap the feedback and also the custom articles. Yeah, we just want to wrap that. I mean, we could just add it to that, to be honest. Let's just do that. Cool, so the article component now loads, and then these article components will be rendered in here. So then they're going to naturally have some margin on the y-axis, and that's fine. So cool. All right, so we managed to get that working, and we've got an editor set up. We've got some comments. I think we need to tidy it up, make it look better, and then I really need to work on the dynamic UX of like this. And we need to also make sure that we can have like a command bar or something at the bottom where someone can flick between like all the articles. And maybe even seeing all the articles in a different UI, like maybe over here or something, we have it so that they can click on all the items in the queue with the next and previous as well. So I think that'll be what we work on next. All right, so we were just setting up like that custom UI component today for comments and articles, and I'm going to put a note in here that when I get back, create an article component. I think we need to work on improving the article component plus comments component. And we want to improve the styling for the article component, improve the comment system, set up CRUD for the articles, and embed them in the. We want to embed them in this generic feedback UI parent from the database via the API, and we also want to set up CRUD set up CRUD for the comments. I think that's the major thing that we need to work on next, and getting these articles in the comments system and getting the CRUD set up for a feedback session. Alright, cool. So hopefully you enjoyed that, everyone. I'm going to log off for now, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.